Good afternoon, my amazing class.
Good afternoon, my amazing teacher.
All right, so homework last night was number 7 through 20 on examining absolute value. When I do this, you might notice that I am tracing the lines when I am saying absolute value. That's just a way that I do that, just to make sure I understand that that is absolute value and I'm paying attention to those symbols. So the absolute value of 69 is 69. The absolute value of negative 79 is 79. Absolute value of 13. Absolute value of negative 63. Absolute value of negative 77. Absolute value of negative 55. Absolute value of negative 84. Absolute value of 13 is 13, but this one we have to be careful. Why? It has a negative on the outside. Okay. Absolute value of 27 is. Absolute value of 81 is. But be careful, there's a negative on the outside. Absolute value of negative 99. Absolute value of 18. Absolute value of 54. Absolute value of 18 is 18, but it will become negative 18. Get it? Got it? All right. Coming around now is going to be your packet for today. Do you mind handing me one? While Hadley Ray's coming around to pass that out, everybody look up at the board, please. In your binder, this would be a great time to put that homework in NS8 or NS7. It's an NS8 or NS7, your choice there, because NS7 and 8 deal with both absolute value. In your binder, you should have these sheet protectors. The benchmark practice sheet protector from benchmark number what? You have 6.NS.5, 6.NS.7, and now 6.NS.8. If you have any papers that are just loose in your binder or your book bag that are math, you might want to go ahead and put those where they go right now while she's handing this out. Next week, it will either be Wednesday or Thursday. We are going to have a test on all of these standards, NS5 through 8. I don't know if you see that I put equals NS6. What that is saying is that all of those standards have a little bit of NS6 in each one. So we have covered NS5, 6, 7, and 8. Get it? Got it? Okay. What's up? Oh, okay. I'm done. All right. Good job. All right. Now, our test next week will either be Wednesday or Thursday. It is not going to be a long test. I'm probably not going to have it more than 25 questions. And you're only going to have about an hour to take it, because we have lessons that we have to learn. So you'll have about 1 hour to take it. Get it? Got it? All right. Are we all good? Y'all got everything organized, settled? Okay. So this is going to be a study guide. This was last year's assessment. I did not like it, so I am going to make a new one this year. So this is now going to be called the Rational Numbers Study Guide. So I'm going to rewrite that as study guide. Get it? Got it? Repeat name. reason why I didn't like this, when I made this test last year, I just picked some that I thought looked good, and I went based off of what answers that they had there. And I think it's number 1 and number 14, their answers are not clear. Okay, so but we're gonna make it clear on this study guide. Cool. All right, match the description with the appropriate answer choice to represent the situation. We're gonna add on to this sentence: max speed while riding a bike. He went down a hill. Add that to the sentence. So max speed while riding a bike down a hill. If you were riding a bicycle down the hill, you don't even have to pedal, because what's going to happen? You're going to speed what? Up. You're going down a hill on a bike, on a bicycle, you're going to speed up. You don't even have to pedal. Does everybody agree? If you're speeding up, so let's say you were at 5 miles per hour, you're going down a hill, how many miles per hour you think you could be at? 50? Oh man. I was thinking more like 8 or 10. That's pretty fast, okay? Because you're on a bicycle and you're going down a hill. It's a really tall hill if you're going 50 miles per hour. Okay. All right, Evil Knievels. All right, here we go. You ready? So that means our number, what did we say? Y'all went from 5 to 50. What happened? We had a what? Increase. When you have an increase, what kind of integers is that? Positive. Don't you mess with him. Hey, don't mess with nobody. Don't you mess with him. All right. So it would only be positive integers only. Get it? Got it? Now, if you're having to go up a hill, you might end up what? Slowing down, decreasing. But we wrote that it's going down a hill. Okay, so it would increase. So C would be our answer. The only time B would be our answer if we say it's going down a hill and up a hill. Okay, so we could say down and up the hill. And this one is if we're going up the hill. Okay, because we would end up decreasing our speed. Does that make sense? So last year's crew didn't have enough information on number 1. This is one of those questions that I had to end up giving them some points back. Cool? Now, my next one is the same situation, but you have to know the change in elevation when traveling down a mountain. Well, if you've ever seen some mountains, I do. They kind of could look like that, right? Well, if you're at the tip top and you're traveling down the mountain, you go down, but then you can go up, and then you can go down, and then you can go, and then you are back down to the bottom. So we decrease, but then we might increase a little bit. So that one could have what kind of integers? Because does a mountain just look perfectly like that? No. Okay? Y'all don't laugh at my drawings. Alright, which situation would be best represented with positive integers? So if I'm talking about the depth of an inchworm found in the dirt, that would be positive or negative? Negative. The position of a kayak floating on the surface, that's at 0, because that's at sea level. We talked about that boat in our lesson, our first lesson in NS5. That boat was at sea level. At 0, at sea level. And 0 is neither, write this down, all right, the elevation of a mountaintop, that would be what? Positive, because it said the mountain top. So that's obviously my answer. But in 6th grade, we know we could have more than. Coldest temperature. When we're talking about temperature, we think about a vertical number line because of a thermometer. And if I have 0 and it's below 0, especially if it's Celsius, below 0, it's getting colder. And above 0, it's getting warmer. Okay? So if it says coldest temperature ever recorded, coldest temperature ever recorded, that's representing what kind of integer? Negative. So could that be an answer? All right, my next one. Alice keeps track of her finances by recording her income and expenses in her checkbook. Income is how much she makes in a week or in a month or in a year. Expenses is what she's spending. Okay, so income is positive. Expenses is negative. Which amount should Alice record for a negative number? Okay, well, if she gets a bonus is positive, because think about math, you get some bonus points, you're getting some points what? Added. Receives also means what? Add. Okay, so we know A is talking about positive, and we want something that's talking about negative. A gift card, that's talking about positive. Her rent, that's an expense, that's negative, so C is an answer. And then her weekly salary is how much you make from working. And that's going to be positive. All right, turning our paper over. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay. Looking at my next one, the elevation, automatically if I see the word elevation, I am thinking of a vertical number line. And some other things that I'm thinking of is 0 is at sea level. Okay, and I might not have to know that for this, but that's what I'm automatically going to think of when I see elevation, because that's the most common question that you will see is what is sea level, and you would say 0. Okay. Alright, so it says the elevation in feet of a scuba diver is representing by the integer negative 89. Which statement describes the scenario correctly? So when we're thinking about this, we got to be careful for double negatives. And what I mean by that is it's going to show a sign of negative, and then it will have another meaning for negative. But A shows a sign for negative, but then it shows a sign for what? Positive. And then that situation, that's basically putting us back at 0, because if we go down 89 feet, and then it says above, now we're back up at 0. Okay, so A definitely does not make sense because we end up back at 0. My next one, it says the scuba diver is at a distance of 89 feet below, and they only mention it one time. That's negative, so that is saying negative 89, which B is my Answer. Look at C and D and be ready to tell me why it's not the answer. Cool? Look at C and D and be ready to tell me why it will not be the answer. Alright, so when I'm looking at this one, it shows a sign of negative and it says the word negative. So if I put 89, negative 89 and negative 89 together, now I'm going to be, I think, around negative 100. If I put negative 89 and negative 89 together, so 89 and 89 together makes, and they're both negative, so it stays negative. Now we're at negative 178. And we just need to be at 89 feet below. Why is D not our answer? Okay, that one's saying positive 89. I have another one talking about elevations. Springsdale is 8. If you can't see it, you can rewrite it. Springsdale is 8. Bluesville is 0. Bloomington is negative 12. And then Nashtown is 5. Okay? So it looks like 0, we also know is called at sea level. That is going to be Bluesville. Not yet. And then, what would be above Bluesville? Nashtown. And what number, what integer is that going to be? Okay. All right. And then what's my next one going to be? Springdale. Okay. Bluesville is what? We already have it down. It's what? Okay. All the extra conversations can stop because that might be why you're getting behind. My next one. What's my next integer I'm going to go put on a number line? What's the only one I haven't put? And what town is that? Alright, it's Bloomington. Get it? Got it? Which statement is true? It says Bloomington has the highest elevation. No, Bloomington has the lowest. Springdale has the highest elevation. All the towns are above sea level. No, Bloomington is below. And then D says all towns listed are below. Oop, I said that backwards, I think. All the towns are listed below sea level. A lot of people got this one wrong last year because they did not want to put it on a number line. And that was the majority of these, especially the next one. They saw all these numbers and they were like, ugh, I don't want to do this. It's another one that's dealing with elevation, and we know 0 is at sea level. What's my first town above sea level if I look at all my numbers? 13, I heard it. And that's town what? D. Okay, I've done that one. All right. What's my next town? town E, okay, and that's 289. All right. Yeah. All right. My number line is not perfect. This is math class, not art class. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just put it in the correct order. Okay, now which one's going to be closer to 0 with these negative numbers? Negative 63, which is town A, okay? And then, okay. And then town B at negative. That's right. Okay. On the number line, which town's elevation will be between the elevations of town C and town D? Well, if I go find C and D, what is in between it? A. That was the most missed question last year. Because we don't need to be lazy. Get it? Got it? Now that was done with elevation. Now we're talking about temperature. On the Celsius temperature scale, water freezes at 0 degrees. We learned that. And that was on your quiz when I was absent that day. I think it was on Halloween. Y'all had that quiz that I haven't given back to you because I'm still waiting. Do y'all remember this quiz that y'all had? Okay. No, I have all of y'all's right here. I have all of y'all's signed papers right here of it. No, I got to give it back to y'all because I'm still waiting on 3 people. All right, hocus pocus. All right, here we go. So when I'm thinking about temperature, I'm still thinking about that lovely handy dandy vertical number line, and I know 0 is, well, temperature, this is Celsius. It's what? Freezing for what? H2O for water, right? If carbon dioxide freezes at lower temperature than water, well, guys, what's lower than the water freezing? What kind of numbers would be lower? So lower means it would be negative, okay? So do I have a negative number? What letter? Man, this is the hardest test ever. Class. Got another one dealing with temperature. I'm going to put 0. The temperature at dawn is negative 6 degrees Fahrenheit. But by noon, it's 22 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the difference in temperature? Another word for that is distance. Another word for difference here. It does mean to subtract, but we cannot just subtract this. Get it? Got it? This is an absolute value question. How far away is 22 from 0?
22.
How far away is negative 6 from 0?
6.
How far away are they from each other? 28. How far away are they from noon to dawn? 28. You need to study this because a lot of you would go 22 minus 6 and you would get 22 minus 6. You would get what? 16. That's what a lot of you would do. When it asks the difference between the temperatures, it's asking you what is the distance. This is one that you need to study because it can be confusing. Get it? Got it? What's the opposite of 2 1/3? They also could have had it written like this, the opposite of 2 1/3, and they would have asked you to pick the correct one. Question 11 was a most missed question last year. You learned in 3rd grade this last year in 3rd grade. You learned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces in between 0 and 1. It's labeled as 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and then 5/5 is what? 1. Okay? You do the same thing. We talked about this. You do the same thing with the opposite direction, but it's in a negative direction. So let's count the spaces. I'm going to do a different color. Here we go. Count the spaces from 0 to -1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I now know that's -1/5, -2/5, and it's asking about x, which will be -3/5. And this one is obviously -4/5. Which value of x, -3/5, matches up? Well, guys, in the calculator, literally put 3. So, in calculator, put in 3 divided by 5, and you're going to get 0.6. But this is negative. So our answer will be -0.6. Is that hard? No. A lot of people said their answer was -0.3 because it was the 3rd one. Get it? Got it? My next one, all you do is play process of elimination. How many positive integers do I have? Well, technically this isn't integers. What are these called? I messed up. What are these called? They're not integers because it's fractions and decimals and mixed numbers. What are these called? Rational. No. No. All set. What kind of rational numbers, just glancing at this, do I have? Positive or negative? Positive and negative. How many positive do I have?
2.
I have 2 of them. All right. And then I have 2 negatives. Well, I can just go to these dots real quick and try to see which ones I can get rid of because they have either too many positive or too many negative. Do y'all see an answer choice that I can play process of elimination on? Which one can I get rid of because they have too many positive or too many negative? C. Why? They have too many. All right, well now, A, B, and D. Now I need to go in a little bit more detail, and I'm going to zoom in so we can see a little bit better here. There is something that I can easily put in the calculator and determine. 20 divided by 5. Somebody said it. Guys, what's 20 divided by 5 in the calculator? 4. I can go see if there's one that doesn't have a dot on 4. Is there one that doesn't have a dot on 4? Which one? Now you have a 50-50 chance to get this right. So let's go back and look at my starting point, negative 3.6. Where is negative 3.6 going to be in between? Negative 3 and negative 4. I can get rid of what? Because they have it in between negative 2 and negative what? So A is my... Do you see on those? Don't stress yourself out on those. Play the process of elimination. In 3rd and 4th grade, you learned about benchmark fractions. And that was their name. And a benchmark fraction. And a benchmark fraction for 1/2. What's equivalent to 1/2, guys?
0.5.
Alright. Yeah, that's for the decimal. I agree. Okay, I'm going to put that there. But what's some other fractions equivalent to 1/2? 2/4. Keep going. 5 out of 10. Keep going.
20 out of 40.
You were taught. Yep. Class. You were taught to recognize fractions like 2/4, 5/10, 24, 40ths. You were taught to recognize that that is equivalent to 1/2. Do y'all remember that? They're bringing that back, but with positive numbers. If this is 0 and this is 1/2, what could that be? Because it's the second tick mark from 0. If that's 1/2, don't overthink it. That means right here would be what number? What whole number? If that's 0, then what would this whole number be, guys? Right here. 1. Okay. So what is this 1/2 actually going to be? 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2 what? That's 2 what? 4ths. Well, that means that this was 1/4, and that means that this was 3/4. Does that make sense? Now we need to go in the opposite direction. And if we're at 0, we go to R. That's going to be negative 1/4. Negative 1/2 is another way to say negative 2/4. And that means my next one is negative 3/4. What point represents the opposite of negative 3/4? Guys, what is the opposite of negative 3/4? I'm looking for positive 3/4. What letter is positive 3/4? So D is my answer. Get it? Got it? Now 14 they messed up on. 14 they messed up on. Okay? It says for homework, Tina is asked to write down the opposite value for each number listed. So the number was negative 3, and it said, what's the opposite number of negative 3? 3. That's right. The opposite of negative 9 is? 9. Opposite of negative 9 is? Opposite of negative 9. You're not listening. What is the opposite of negative 9? 9. Y'all were saying negative 9.
We said that after the 3rd time, the 6th time.
Okay. If I'm repeating, it's because I'm still hearing negative 9. Okay. Again, read it. Opposite of negative 9 is 9. So that's right. 0's Opposite. 0 is neither positive nor negative. 0 does not have a opposite. But technically she didn't get it wrong because she says 0 is still going to stay what? 0. Then 4's opposite is? Okay. Which comparisons did Tina write incorrectly? She wrote them all what? Correct. Well, when I went back to see whose answer, what answer is right, I had multiple kids come to me, Miss Jones, 14 doesn't have an answer. 14 doesn't have a answer. And they're right. It doesn't have an answer. But on the computer, it said B was the answer. Okay? What would they have had to write here for B to be the answer? Please make it -9. And then make it an X. All right, do 15 by yourself while you're waiting. Automatically, what? I can get rid of A because it's what? I can get rid of B because that should be in between -3 and -4. These are in between -2 and -3. And why am I writing it that way? Why am I writing it? Some of you are like, I heard somebody just say it's backwards. Okay? Well, because we're going to the left of 0, so it's negative. Okay? But which one is going to be in the exact middle? Because that represents 0.5, which is 50 out of 100. Four values are given on the table. What's this first value? What's this first value? What is this value? Opposite of -9 is? So that's actually 9. What's this one? Opposite of 6. What is this? Opposite of 6. No, it's opposite of 6 is? If the values are graphed on a number line, why do you think they got it wrong? No, not because they did it wrong. Why do you think they got it wrong? What did I tell you earlier that they just didn't want to do?
They didn't want to work it out.
They didn't want to graph it on a number line. Which value is farthest to the left? Well, what kind of number line am I going to have to draw for that? Let's go plot those numbers. -8 is going to go to the left of 7 is going to go to the, this said the opposite of -9 is, that's going to go to the right of 0, but also to the right of 7. And then the opposite of 6 is -6. So it's going to go to the left of 0, but where? In between 0 and -8. What's my answer going to be? Farthest left, farthest left, farthest left, farthest left. So a lot of people got this wrong last year because first of all, they didn't want to put it on a number line. Or they got it wrong because they thought C was actually -9 and they didn't know how to read their opposites. Or they got D because they think -6 is farther to the left than -8. So please be careful and work it out. All right, looking at 17. Nope, nope, yes.
19.
Nope, 17. Looking at 17. What do you notice is off to the right of every single one of these? What fraction? What fraction? Off to the right of every single one. What is that fraction, guys?
3/8.
Thank you. Put that in your calculator right now and tell me what it is.
0.375.
Now I am going to rewrite these. 0.75 is what to 0.375? What did y'all learn last year? You have to add they all have to show that they're going to the thousandths place. So what is 0.75 compared to 0.375? What's my answer? If the player with the lowest score wins, which golfer wins? Which one's the lowest?
-9. See, I'm smart like that. I just wanted to say that.
-9 is lower than negative what?
6.
Would you rather be $6 in debt or $9 in debt? 6. You rather be more in debt?
Oh, $6. When you said that, I thought you mean like how much money you want.
Class.
Yes.
Debt means you owe what?
Money.
A stork is flying at an elevation of 4,800 meters above sea level. What kind of integer was that?
5.
A shark is swimming at a depth of 1,200 meters below sea level. That would be -1,200. Which inequality compares the elevation and depth correctly? Well, first of all, we need to make sure their signs are matching. And if I look at A, do they have a positive 4,800?
Yes.
And if I look at A, do they have a -1,200?
Yes.
So let me read it. -1,200 is what to 4,800? Is that true? If I look at B, do they have a -1,200?
No.
Don't waste your time. If I look at C, do they have a positive 4,800?
Yes.
Yes. Do they have a -1,200?
No.
Don't waste your time. D,
No, they both did. They only know what part. I think it's the third.
turn all those fractions into decimals and write them below that fraction. Turn all those fractions into decimals and write it below that fraction. All I did was circle S. Zero 0.375 is what to 0.750? Zero 0.50 is what to 0.45? 0.125 is what to 0.250? 125 thousandths is what to 250 thousandths less than? 83 hundredths is what to 100 hundredths? I said thousandths. 83 thousandths is what to 100 thousandths? Ooh, I almost messed up. All right. What did y'all notice about these? They all true. A's true. B's true. C is what? False. D is what? Oh man, so I guess my answer is A, B, and D. Oh, I forgot to read about. It says what? So why do you think that was the most missed? Yes, sir. You're right. You're right. You're right. Thank you. But it's still going to be greater. Thank you. All right. Class. Turn your paper. Okay, these are hard to see on 1A. You earn $75. What's that integer? Positive 75. It says you earn, right here, $75. My next one says 80 feet below sea level. What's that integer? 20 degrees above zero. What kind of integer? 20 degrees above zero would be positive what? A debt of $12 would be what integer? Negative 12. The balloon floated 15 feet up into the air. That's going to be positive 15. Class. The opposite of a withdrawal. What does withdrawal mean? Negative 25. The opposite of negative 25 is? We're not done, but homework will be numbers 2 through 9. I need you to get to number 10. I need you to go to number 10. Class. I want you to plot these points, point -3, 2, and -3, -5, on this coordinate plane here. Plot point -3, 2, and point -3, -5 on that coordinate plane. Instead of talking, you can give me a thumbs up. On your state test and on your benchmark, you're going to have questions where they're talking about points and they do not have a coordinate plane. But there is going to be a coordinate plane somewhere on that test, so you do not have to draw it out. Do you want to have to draw out a coordinate plane? That would not be fun, would it? Thumbs down. So I just asked you to plot these points on a completely different what? Problem. I just asked you to plot these points on a completely different problem to help you save some what? Time. Now let's solve it. The point -3, 2 and -3, -5 are plotted on a coordinate plane. Which expression can be used to find the distance between the 2 points? Well, guys, watch me find the distance between the 2 points. You ready? Count with me from this point to the other. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So what is my distance that I'm looking for between the 2 points? Now, what symbols do we have here? And think about it before you blurt it out. What symbols do we have around these numbers? I didn't say signs. I did not say signs. I said symbol. That ain't no opposite. That ain't, no. Class. Kagan, say it. You didn't just have homework on this last night? Class.
Yes.
What is the absolute value of -5?
5.
Write it down. What's the absolute value of 2?
2.
What's the sign in between?
Plus.
Add it together and what do you get? So what is our answer so far? Alright, let's solve the next one. Quit playing around. What is the opposite? Oh, no. What is the absolute value of -5?
5.
What is the absolute value of 2?
2.
What's happening?
Subtraction.
And what do we get?
3.
That's not an answer.
Nope.
What is the absolute value of -3?
3.
What is the absolute value of -3?
3.
3 plus 3 is?
6.
That's not my answer.
No.
The absolute value of -3?
3.
Absolute value of -3?
3.
And what do I do?
0.
Subtract and I get?
0.
That is not my answer. Are these hard?
No.
Turn the paper. Now you are not going to be able to see the bottom consistently. You are not going to be able to see the bottom consistently. I'm going to keep it up on here. Real quick, I want you to label your quadrants with me. This is quadrant 1. And we know that quadrant 1, they were very nice to us and gave us numbers. quadrant 1 square touches positive and positive. Then we have going off to the what? Left. And it's made up of negative. One more time. Positive. You're still cool. And then we have quadrant 3. And it's going to be, and then we'll have quadrant 4. And it will be positive and negative. And they already labeled our X and our Y axis. I circled it. So this is our X axis. This is our Y axis. And just a reminder, we plot X first. So we're either going to run, and then we have our Y, which we're going to either jump or drop. Why did I put L or R? Left or right? Okay. So it says use the graph above to answer the following questions. Graph the point 2, -3 and label it A. Graph the point 2, -3 and label it A. Okay, so that means I go to the right 2 and then I'm gonna drop. And I'm gonna label it A. What quadrant are we in?
4.
And look at what I'm writing beside A.
4.
That is quadrant 4. Does everybody understand what I just did? Thumbs up when you're ready for me to do the next step, because you need to make sure you're paying attention, not working ahead. Okay, it says reflect A across the X. We're literally going to cross the X axis. Here's the X, so we got to cross it, cross that bridge. Well, it takes 1, 2, 3 to get to the X. 3 more up would be a perfect reflection, mirroring, and we're going to label it B. We traveled a total of 6 squares, right? Okay, so write the ordered pair for the reflection. So it's asking you write what B is. Okay? And guys, if you notice, we keep the same numbers, but our signs change. And here it's 2, 3 still. You see how on A it was 2, -3. Here it's still going to be a 2 and a 3. But what happens to these signs? They're both what? Because they're in quadrant 1. All right, now they're starting all over. C, graph the point -4, 5 and label it C. So go graph -4, 5 and label it C. So I'm going to run to the left 4, and then I'm going to jump up and label it C. And it says that that will be in quadrant 2. And now we're going to reflect C across the X-axis. Well, this time we are still going across the X, but instead of going up, we're going to go down. So this one's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the X. And we're going to go 5 more in a negative direction. And we're going to label it D. And we're going to write that ordered pair for that reflection. And what is D? It's still the same order of the numbers, 4 and 5, but guess where we ended up at? They're both negative because we're in quadrant 3. So I don't know if you notice, reflections, they keep the same order of their number. Here it's going to be always be 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. Okay? It'll always be that, but the signs will change. And it matters on what quadrant you end up in the reflection. All right, now graph the point 5-8 and label it E. Well, you should know 5-8, they're both positive. That's obviously going to be in quadrant 1. So go find 5-8 and label it E. So I go to the right 5, and then I'm going to go up 8. And I'm going to label it E. No, I'm still teaching. Y'all gonna have to wait. And we're gonna reflect across the y-axis. So now we're gonna go to the left. We're gonna cross that y. So it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're gonna go 5 more to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to put F. And that ordered pair is still going to be dealing with a 5 and an 8. But which one becomes negative because we're in quadrant 2? What coordinate becomes negative for F? Negative 5, 8. My last one, negative 7, negative 4. Negative 7, negative 4, are going to label it G. Now I'm going to wait because this one's different. Negative 7, negative 4. That's obviously in quadrant what?
3.
Why is this one different? What's our directions on H telling us to do? So we first have to, we're reflecting 2 times. We first have to reflect G across the X. So it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 more. I can't stop. I have to reflect again, and it takes 7 to get to the Y, and 7 more to the right. Now I'm at my reflection because I had to reflect 2 times. And if you look at H, you see where it says reflect G across the X and the Y and label it H. And what is that ordered pair going to be? It's still going to be dealing with a 7 and a 4, but what kind of 7 and 4? And it's going to be in quadrant 1. So the easiest 2 things now is finding the distance between. And we already practiced that on the number 11 where I got you to plot it on a different coordinate plane. You remember we just did that on the last page with the absolute value? This is what I'm talking about. We've already done a distance one right here on number 11. But sometimes they can just ask us simply, what is the distance between E and F? Well, E is 5 away from 0. F is 5 away to 0. Altogether, that is what? 10. So E to F is 10 units away from each other. Or you can just, and I'm going to do it with a different color, you can do it with absolute value like I did, asking how far away it is from 0. Or you can just count your what? Your units, your square units in between the points. Get it? Got it? Okay. So do A to B. Choose which way you want to do it. You can ask yourself the absolute value, how far away B is from 0, A is for 0, and combine it. Or you can just color in the squares from one point to the next, and you should find out that your answer will be 6. This is a study guide for a test that will either be Wednesday or Thursday of next week. You can put this in NS8, but it's actually covering NS5, NS6, NS7, and NS8. Do not forget to do your homework. That's what you're working on right now. I'm delaying jobs just by a few minutes. Y'all start the bathroom and work on the homework for number 2 through 9. Get it? Got it? Say goodbye.